Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage on this November 27, 2025. A major winter storm is brewing for the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Ohio Valley. We're going to get you the latest on that winter storm, including snowfall amounts, the track, the timing of the system. That's very important here to the forecast. We also have another winter storm that is likely in the east as we go into next week. We'll talk temperature trends as well as we go into December. So much more on that. If you continue to watch the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it, hype it. Also follow me on Facebook. The link for that will be in the description down below the video or pinned to the top of the comment section down below the video. You can follow me on Facebook for quick weather updates on there that are informative to you. So let's get to the forecast, everybody. And looking here at the seasonal snowfall to date, we've had a lot of snow out here across the Mountain West. We've had some decent snows across the northern plains like the Dakotas, the upper Midwest into northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and the upper peninsula Michigan. And then of course the lake effect snow has been very healthy this season to date as well. We are looking here at winter storm watches going in effect for our major winter storm this weekend for big cities from Iowa all the way over to northwestern Indiana, Des Moines, Omaha, Madison, Milwaukee, Chicago, Rockford, Peoria, Springfield, and Quincy, Illinois are all some of the bigger cities in the mix here as we go through the weekend. And this is for several inches of snow that is likely to pile up. Again, we'll get you the official numbers on that in just a minute. But taking a look at our Thanksgiving Day forecasts, one of the colder Thanksgivings we've had in a couple of years is expected this afternoon. As you can see, the cross-polar flow taking place from Canada down to the central and eastern U.S. in the green. That's where the most below average temperatures anomalies are across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Ohio Valley, where we are 25 degrees below normal here on this Thanksgiving afternoon. Out west, we're a little bit above normal, where we're 25 degrees above normal, the complete opposite end of the spectrum. And we look here at the weather for this afternoon. Thanksgiving travel here for the day today will be a little bit troublesome, if you will, across the Great Lakes as we have some lake effect snow. Southeastern Canada as well, Ontario and Quebec, we got a 993 millibar low up here. That's going to be giving us all that wind. Maybe not as strong as yesterday, but definitely enough wind to reduce the visibility out there if you're traveling, whether it's in Canada or around the Great Lakes region. Make sure you're taking it slow out there on the roadways. Double-barreled area of high pressure in the middle of the country, promising some sunshine, but colder temperatures there into the central United States for your Thanksgiving. And here comes our winter storm that's already taking shape in the Pacific Northwest. So the weather data already starting to get fed into the models here. So let's get into the latest on that here in just a second. But look at the winds today across the Great Lakes, northwesterly winds over 30 miles per hour here. Again, that will reduce visibility, especially in any heavier snow bands that set up across the Great Lakes this afternoon. Now, looking here at the big picture, we got some high pressure ridging here over the Bering Strait all the way to the Arctic Circle north of Alaska, and that is important in bringing our cross-polar flow down into portions of southern Canada and the United States, not to mention that we have a tropospheric polar vortex setting up over the Hudson Bay that's going to give us a cold air source for this winter storm this weekend. So let's look at the cold air that we have, right? You can't have snow without cold air, and you can see we have a lot of that colder air coming in on the backside of this system for the weekend, and those temperature anomalies in Montana could be 35 degrees below normal as we go into this upcoming weekend for Saturday and Sunday. Now, you also can't have a winter storm without moisture, and streamlines straight out of the Gulf are all the way up here into the Midwest, Great Lakes, and the Ohio Valley with PWAT values, precipitable water values that are over half an inch, which is plenty for a major winter storm in parts of Iowa, northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and lower Michigan. So that's what we're looking at here. So let's step into the forecast as we go into this evening. Things look pretty good in the central part of the country outside of the Great Lakes lake effect snow. Here comes the snow for our system into portions of southern Alberta and then getting into Montana. That's going to set up some snow during the day on Friday. Some of that snow getting into the Dakotas. Now, I feel as the initial snow bands that move into the Dakotas during the midday hours, early afternoon hours on Friday, some of the snow may not be reaching the ground. It's what you call virga. It's dry air aloft. As the snow is falling, you can see it on the radar. but it doesn't reach the ground. It actually evaporates. And I feel like we have a lot of low and mid-level dry air. So that's going to allow some of that to not really reach the ground for a couple of hours. But once it does, our major winter storm will be underway. And yes, all day on Saturday, we're going to have very heavy snow from Iowa into north central Illinois, much of central and southern Wisconsin, into northern Indiana, southwestern lower Michigan. Some of these deeper blues here indicating those snowfall rates of 1 to perhaps as much as 2 inches per hour here, and would not be ruling out some thunder snow with some of the setups I'm looking at here as we go into Sunday morning. And that would enhance snowfall totals. Thunder snow always enhances snowfall totals. Think of it as a thunderstorm. When you have lightning and thunder, it increases those rainfall rates. It's the same thing when you have thunder snow. It's increasing the snowfall rate. So that's what we're looking at as we go into the weekend. It'll be exiting across eastern Canada and New England as we go into Sunday night. And then we're going to be left with a cold 1034 high pressure right over that fresh snowpack. So you know it's going to be very cold heading into early next week. But here are the numbers. Again, we're going to be crunching them down for you across portions of Iowa, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, into Michigan. That is the bullseye for the heaviest snowfall. And this national Blenda model is actually showing upwards to a foot of snow in these very areas. Des Moines in play, Milwaukee, Madison, Prairie du Chien, all the way down there into Rockford, Waukegan in Chicago, and then stretching over there into, say, Gary, South Bend, Indiana, Grand Rapids, and Lansing. So be keeping an eye on that as we go through the weekend. And looking here at my official totals, this is my official map. In purple, that's where 6 to 9 inches of snow is expected. Basically central Iowa all the way to southeastern Michigan. In that cherry red color there, along the Illinois-Wisconsin state line, nosing its way into southwestern lower Michigan into eastern Iowa, that's where 9 to 12 inches of snow is most likely to set up. And that's right along the Highway 20 corridor in far northern Illinois, I-90 there as well, stretching from Rockford up toward Janesville. So that is the area that is most at risk for up to a foot of snow. But on the backside, man, is it going to get cold, especially if we see the snow that's expected, because that fresh snowpack acting like a freezer is going to cool our temperatures down. So if you're heading off to work or school Monday morning on December 1st, and yes, this is meteorological start to winter on the December 1st, our temperatures are going to feel very cold. In fact, sub-zero wind chills may be possible for North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, parts of Wisconsin, even northwest Iowa, where we could be 5 to 15 degrees below zero with those wind chill values as we go into Monday morning. So certainly want the winter coats, certainly want the gloves, hats, scarves, everything that you know for winter, because it's going to be cold going into early portions of next week behind our storm system. Now, that's not it, right? We're going to be just setting the stage for an active winter storm track across the eastern U.S. heading into early December. Tropospheric polar vortex is going nowhere. It's anchored across the Hudson Bay in eastern Canada. That's going to be our local cold air source that's going to be pulling down that cold air cross-polar flow down here. And yes, we still have that ridge in the Northeast Pacific. So as long as those parameters are still there, our winter storm track is going to be set. And you can see more cold air coming in. Those temperature anomalies where that fresh snowpack is going to be easily 20 degrees below normal heading through the first 7 days of December. And that active storm track going to be pushing a little bit further to the south here than we see this weekend, which would give more opportunities for the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast, including the I-95 corridor, of seeing some snowfall. So here's the European model. As we go into Monday, December 1st, here comes another low pressure system across the southern tier of the country into the southern plains. This will deepen as it moves off the shore of the East Coast, and this would be a system to watch for the I-95 corridor, much of the Northeast and New England as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday morning. So the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of December, according to the European model. The GFS, the American model guidance, is very similar, although it has more of an ice event for the I-95 corridor near coast areas of heavy rain, and then more of a New England snow setup here for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, basically the same time frame. So we're pinpointing this weekend for our first winter storm, and then the middle of next week for our second winter storm, and that one will be a little bit further to the south. Looking at preliminary numbers, we're not going to get really into the fine details of it, but just the kind of the placement of the snowfall. The New England region looks pretty good for snowfall on the European model, maybe some I-95 snowfall near coast areas, say like Cape Cod or Long Island. Those areas may stay mainly rain. According to the GFS, the American guidance is very bullish on the snowfall, as the GFS tends to do, and it actually shows some pretty heavy snowfall along the I-95 corridor all the way to the coast. So we're going to be keeping an eye on the placement there, how much warm air advection moves off of the Atlantic into the coastal areas there of I-95. Is it more of a New England snow event? Is it all the Northeast? Is it just the I-95 corridor? We're going to be keeping up to date on the forecast as we go into next week. Plenty of time to hash that out, but on the warm side, yeah, down here in the Carolinas, Georgia, North Florida, Alabama, heavy rainfall in multiple inches. Could be seeing 1 to 3 inches worth of rain. According to the European model, GFS very similar. So it looks like a rainy setup during the middle of next week across the southeast there and into the Carolinas. Now, behind that system, we're going to have an even stronger push of cold air, right? Because we've put all this snow down across portions of, say, the Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, the Northeast. And again, that's acting like a freezer. So every time we see snow piling up, and the deeper your snowpack, we're going to get even colder every time. So going into the second week of December, things are going to get pretty cold. Western Canada, man, it's going to be cold up there. 37 degrees below normal with our air temperatures there. Into British Columbia, Alberta, even nosing its way into northern Montana. So get ready for that. And as we go here through the month of December, it looks like the central and east are going to be below normal to average out the 30 days, 31 days of December. And it's going to be very active as well. I think if you're looking for a white Christmas, you're looking out west to the mountains, you're looking to the north here, especially into the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, New England. That is the area in prime, respect for potentially white Christmas. So that's what we're looking at as we go through Christmas Day. Thank you all for watching. I hope you took a lot of information away from this forecast. If you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to keep you covered with both these winter storms and many other winter storms to come this winter season. We also cover severe weather in the spring and summer, hurricanes, and during hurricane season, tropical weather season. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. We cover Canada, the United States, the tropics. Like the video, share it, hype it. Also follow me on Facebook for quick, rapid fire, informative weather updates on there. The link for that will be in the description down below the video, and also pinned to the top of the comment section down below the video as well. Leave me a comment. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and I will see you all in the next video.